welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April, and for today's video we are talking all things Miss USA. Okay, so the pageant happened last night. As you guys know, if you watched, DC won, which was pretty cool. She is a nuclear scientist, works for the American government, and she's just like brilliant, beautiful. They're all beautiful. And with that said, there's a few things that I really just kind of wanted to talk about. So the first thing is that pageants are extremely subjective. I woke up this morning and I woke up to reading all over the news, like everyone bashing her, bashing DC for her answer, everyone really just like not nice at all about her, and I'll get to all that in a second. So pageants are obviously really subjective, so we're all gonna have differences in opinions. I mean, there are literally billions and billions of people on this earth, and if you had me on a judging panel, I would have maybe chosen a different top 10, or I would have pushed New York into the top 5. Everything would be completely different depending on who the judges are, and I feel like everybody should know that by now, that, even though I am, of course, going to be sad that New York didn't make the top 5, that it's just how pageants work. Pageants work like that all the time. Different girl, different day, different judges. That's just, the way of pageants. So we're not even really going to touch upon like who made the top and who I thought should have made it and who I didn't, who I thought made it too far, whatever. We're not even going to go there because that's all just subjective and my opinion means absolutely nothing. So let's just agree on the fact that we will all disagree on who should be in the top and who shouldn't be in the top. The things that I did want to talk about though were the judging choices, so we're going to get on that right now. So one of the judges was a Miss Minnesota USA contestant from this year. She was the first woman to wear a hijab on stage while she competed, and so she went like viral for it, and then she became like a model, and yesterday she was placed on the judges panel. She competed this year against the current Miss Minnesota USA. So I found that to be really odd that they put her as a judge. I think that could have gone two ways. One, since she lost, she could either knock Minnesota's scores, or two, she could be her friend and want to push her up to win. So I feel like either way, it was just a really bad call on putting her on the judges panel. I'm not saying she's not qualified to be a judge. I'm sure she is, and maybe she was completely unbiased, but I think in the eye of the public, that was probably not the best idea. I think there's at least one other person that they could have found that would have been qualified to be sitting at that table for the moment. And like I said, if they put her on next year on the judges panel, fine. I think that would have been no issue, but I think the fact that she competed against a competitor competing in that competition was a big, giant mistake. Mind you, Minnesota wound up getting second runner-up last night, so that's great, but either way, I think if she were to have won, and I loved Minnesota from the start, if she were to have won, it would have looked really bad because it would have looked rigged, and if she didn't place, it could have almost looked like she just didn't like her. So I feel like it was just a bad mistake, but I don't know, that's just, again, my opinion. But with that said, I wanted to talk about how judging actually works, because I feel like a lot of people are not understanding the way that judging works in pageantry. So when you're sitting on the judges panel, sometimes you're going to ask political questions, or the girls are going to get on stage questions that are political, and you are not there to judge whether or not you agree or disagree with them. That's not what they do when they're judging. What they do is they judge a woman's ability to articulate herself, to complete her thoughts, to formulate an idea, represent herself, see how truthful she comes across, how well she speaks on stage. Does she get stage fright? She's going to be on stage all year long speaking to a million different people. So they judge all of those things. They're not there to judge what your opinion is. They're there to judge the way that you express your opinion. So I personally felt that the judges did a very good job with that. And this is something that for some reason, I guess maybe the public just doesn't understand it, or, I mean, even though there were some pageant people out there who just did not like DC's response. She was asked 2 questions. She was asked one question on healthcare, on if she felt that healthcare was a privilege or a right, and she felt that it was a privilege. She felt that you need to have a job in order to be able to have healthcare. She knows that that's the way that it works in society, and that it is a privilege. And whether or not you agree with it is not the point. Don't need to agree with it. She articulated herself, and she formulated her idea, and she expressed her thought clearly, thoroughly, to the point. It was concise, And like I said, it was clear. And then the second question she was asked was if she's a feminist or not. And she said that she does not like to consider herself a modern day feminist because she likes to consider herself what she calls an equalist, and that she believes that women and men have equal rights in the workplace. And again, it doesn't matter if a judge agrees or disagrees. It matters if she expressed her thought thoroughly. In my opinion, I felt she expressed it thoroughly. I actually felt that she expressed it better than the other contestants, which maybe is why I agree with their choice. But either way, it doesn't matter if anybody, I or you or the judges, agree or disagree with her point of view. And I feel like that is a big point that like the public is completely missing. So the judges actually did a really good job with that. I feel like what the public tends to forget, and even what pageant people tend to forget, is that if political correctness is sort of going out the window a little bit, yes, I think that you should remain bipartisan. I know that if you are Miss USA or you're Miss United States, like the system that I'm competing in, you are representing Americans as a whole, which is fine. But if you ask a political question and you don't answer the question and you maneuver your way around the question, which a lot of the times political correctness tends to get you around the question as per answering the question. If I was a judge, I would probably knock some points off. Like every other girl on that stage, she gave her honest opinion, and it may not have been the popular opinion, but it was her opinion. And I think that now, when you get a question that is so political, especially in today's society, you are never going to please everyone. That's just not possible. It's just never going to happen. And I think that you have to expect a political kind of answer. And, you know, I don't think she was knocking women at all, and she was sticking up for both women and men, and it was just her terminology that she liked to change. She didn't like to use the term feminist. So to be completely honest, I felt that the first question that she got, I felt that it was a little bit unfair for her to even receive that question with the healthcare, because I felt that healthcare is, first off, it's a huge issue in America right now, and second, people are so opinionated about it. It's a huge topic even in the political debates. So if they're going to bring something like that up during onstage question and then ask another person about a topic that is important but not necessarily political, I don't know how fair that truly is. But you can't expect a question like that to ever go well. You're almost setting the contestant up for disaster. Whether she stays right-winged, left-wing, or politically neutral, people are always going to be mad on all sides because they didn't agree with them. So that's just how it is. And I think it's just a poor situation to put a contestant in. Which kind of reminds me of Hawaii's question that she got on stage last year when she was asked who she would vote for. I was just like, come on, you're setting this girl up for disaster. Nobody's ever going to be pleased, no matter what her answer is, whether she says she doesn't know yet, or Trump or Clinton. She just was set up for disaster. So I just didn't like that. The other thing I wanted to get to is that this is a competition for who's going to be the best Miss USA. Miss USA is a leader, and in my opinion, in order to be a leader, you have to stand your ground. And I think that that's something that DC really showed on stage. Whether or not anyone agreed with her opinion, I think that that's something that she truly expressed. And I think if you're being politically correct in your answers, what you're doing is you're sort of molding into what society wants you to be. You're molding to please the most amount of people rather than being a true leader. And in my opinion, when you're a leader, you're leading by example. You may sometimes be going against the grain or giving the unpopular opinion despite the backlash you know you're going to receive. And I think that that's a really strong attribute to have, and that's an attribute I know that I would want my title holder to have if I was a director, because I feel like if I just had a title holder that molded into whatever society wanted her to be at the moment, like how would she ever be effective or influential? That's just not an influential person. That's an entertaining person, you know what I'm saying? And she's not there for entertainment. She's there to influence and lead and all of that. Yeah, that was pretty much my opinion that I wanted to give on it. I thought she was a great choice. I loved a lot of girls who didn't place. There was a few girls that I really would have loved to see being pushed into the top 5 at least. But I just feel like the public is being so harsh, and so I wanted to explain like how judging actually works for the pageant world, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that it has nothing to do with what their opinion is, but rather how you actually express your opinion. I was looking, CNN had like posted something, and some girl just wrote, oh my gosh, I would be much better than this. It just goes to show pageant girls have, they're not necessarily known for their brain power, which first off, this girl's a nuclear scientist, Miss USA, who just won. So you want to talk about brain power, I mean, there you go. The one who just gave up her crown, she's a captain in the army. They're all smart, they're all beautiful. Let's be real here. Everybody thinks that they can do Miss USA's job better than Miss USA can, and I think that that's like so strange to me. Like, those girls are up there for a reason, because those are the girls who are meant to take on that job for the year, because those are the girls who are qualified to take on that job for the year. And just because someone sits behind their screen on Facebook and makes a really nasty comment, that doesn't mean that they would do a better job, even though for some reason everybody seems to think that they can all do everybody else's job better than that person can. I don't know why. I like don't know where that comes from. It's kind of arrogant in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, because I just felt like people had this giant misconception of the way that the judging actually works. And then again, I wanted to throw in my 2 cents in there about how I felt about having 2 competitors be on opposite sides of the judging table for the same competition. I thought that that was a little strange. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I'm gonna get at least one nasty comment on this video, but it's okay, I can take it. Let me know if you guys agree with this, or if you guys even knew that that's how judging works, because I feel like that was just the big issue, was that people didn't understand how it actually worked. Yeah, now the lighting is starting to get really bad because the sun is like about to shine right through my door. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I put out new videos twice a week, and turn on the bell notifications so that way you know when a new video goes up. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.